Welcome back to Beyond Diamond Midterm Grades edition.
That just triggered me saying midterm.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not fun being on this side. I mean, it's not fun taking the test either.
No.
But here we are, a little over the halfway point. All-Star break has came.
Mm-hmm.
Pause. God dang it. All-Star break has come and gone.
It has.
Boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah. Pretty boring.
Home Run Derby, boring. Game was
Game was cool for the first
few
four
innings.
Yeah. And then it was
bleh.
yeah.
Boring. Just that's what happens when you have South Oklahoma host and just use every Texas gentrification thought that the entire country thinks. I mean, I thought SpongeBob was going to come out with the cowboy hat and the whole
I was waiting for
bit.
Everybody in the stadium to put on a cowboy hat at once for some reason.
When's the last time outside an actual rodeo that you've seen cowboys lassoing on a baseball field? That's never happened. It doesn't exist here. It doesn't exist here, especially in Dallas. Dallas has no identity.
Yeah.
But here we are, midterm grades. We will go outfield, infield, starting rotation, bullpen, coaching staff.
Oh,
coaching staff
front
front office.
That one on me. I wasn't ready.
Coaching staff front office.
Okay.
And just kind of give our thoughts on what's happened. Obviously, as you've been following along, watching, listening, it's been a roller coaster. So now that we've been able to step back, take a deep breath, and really dissect what's gone on over the last, I don't know, that's 96 games.
Well, the Astros really realized, they're like a kid who realized halfway through the semester that they were failing. And they're like, fuck. And they're started doing every assignment. They started studying for every test, and they made it up. We'll see what grade they get at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you. I still have this recurring nightmare that I'm back in school and I just completely forgot about a class. And it's the end of the semester and I have an F.
They're like, you never showed up.
You never showed up. It's it happens once a month and it is Inception happens. 1 minute is a month down there. It's just so bad. It's so bad because I didn't like school. I was lucky to hit a baseball. But starting with the outfield, I have kind of on Fangraphs, we have the percentages of time played out in each position.
Okay. That's good. That's good for me. I have their hitting stats and everything.
What would you put in right field? Start with Kyle Tucker. How much percentage of the time he's played?
Well, with him getting hurt, 70%?
Yes. Fangraphs has it at right now projected for the rest 77%.
Oh, it's more than I thought.
Yeah. Joey Lopes 8%, Chas McCormick 7%, Trey Cabbage 5%, Dubon 3%. In center field, they have 67% Jake Myers, Chas McCormick 16%, Dubon 14%.
If you would have shown me that before the season, I would have been like, Jake really he's held it down like that?
Yeah. So they're forecasting the rest of the season.
Okay.
Over the scope of 162.
Sure.
Left field, Chas McCormick 49%, Jordan 25%, Joey Lopes 12%, Dubon 10%, Cabbage 3%. But let's just start with right field. Kyle Tucker, before his injuries that sidelined him now for almost 6 weeks. I think maybe going on 7 weeks. MVP type season.
979 OPS.
He's only played 60 games, 19 tanks, 10 stolen bases, an average of 266, slugging 584, a WAR of 3.2. For the longest time was the only offense the Astros really had.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's the reason why they weren't 20 games behind.
And there's I've seen a lot of tweets like, what's the Astros win-loss record without Kyle Tucker? Well, the Astros' win-loss record with Kyle Tucker in the second half is going to be really, really high.
Oh, yeah.
He's been, it's only going to extend this lineup that's shown over the last month and a half how good this team is at full capacity and rolling positively. It's been honestly kind of crazy that a Chas McCormick, a Joey Lopes, a Cabbage has been able to hold serve out in right field.
No, yeah, that's the big topic to talk about with this outfield is how, and you know, kind of props to Joe Espada on how he's managed it. He's been able to make up for the lack of Kyle Tucker, even the lack of Jordan at times where he's get a little nicked up. And like you said, he's only played left field 25% of the time. That means I don't know how many games it adds up to, but that's a lot of games covered by Jake Myers, Chas McCormick, Joey Luperfido, and Trey Cabbage.
And I think you nailed it with shouting out to Joey Espada on this, because baseball always kind of finds its way when you have a surplus of a position, which the Astros do in the outfield.
Yeah.
And they did at pitching, that when injuries pop up, and they do over 162, that you can supplement it.
Yeah. That's
why
you have a surplus.
That's why you have a surplus.
That's why you have depth.
Because the longest time the conversation before that foul ball was, how is Joe Espada going to get Jordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Chas McCormick, Joey Luperfido, Chas McCormick, Trey Cabbage, all in the outfield, and Mauricio Dubon?
Yeah.
How are you going to get all these guys in the outfield? And it's kind of shaken out over the last 6 weeks of
everybody's kind of had their chance.
Everyone's rotating in right. The big guy's going to get some spell in left. The other guys that are not in right are going to get their run in left. And we'll move over to center field. Jake Myers is your everyday starting center fielder. He has a 1.9 WAR. He's batting 242, 10 tanks, an OPS of 736, an OPS plus of 108 at league minimum. He hasn't even hit arbitration yet.
Yeah.
At league minimum. I always want to go, he's a top 10 player due to value. Like, if you look across Major League Baseball of what you're getting war-wise to what you're paying him,
yeah,
he's got to be. He's got to be
outside of, you know, like a Paul Skeens,
right?
Like guys that have been around, not just rookies.
Right.
Guys that are past their rookie, you know, arbitration.
But you're getting almost a 2-WAR player. His OPS plus is over 100. His OPS right now at 736. He's your everyday starting center fielder and covers so much ground. Am I guilty of yelling him at the TV because he doesn't communicate, almost takes out Jordan or Tucker? Yes. Yeah. But the kid covers ground. He looks like pre-injury Jake Myers.
He does, yeah.
He looks like he's confident. He looks like he's having fun. And that's all you can ask for in your center fielder.
I mean, there's a lot of times in baseball you'll have that super defensive first center fielder that can cover ground, is one of the best gloves in the game, but they can't hit for shit.
Yeah.
That's what we were worried was like Jake's ceiling. He's kind of come around. Like you said, 736 OPS. It feels higher than that because he's come up in so many clutch situations. Hit like a big 3-run bomb, hit a big 2-run bomb, a big double. I don't know what his stats are with the runners in scoring position, but I think at the beginning of the year, people were clamoring for Dubon more because he hit with runners in scoring position. I feel like that's flipped as the season's gone on. So, I mean, I have all the confidence in the world in Jake Myers. Keep him in center the rest of the year.
If I would have told you spring training that Jake Myers would have the 4th highest slug on the Houston Astros this year.
4th highest?
4th highest.
Jesus.
It goes Kyle Tucker, 584. Jordan Alvarez, 531. Jose Altuve, 461. Jake Myers, 424. With Alex Bregman at 414 and Diaz at 409.
That's wild. I see. I knew it was high. Damn.
Yeah. So he's been a constant out there. Someone that has been a rotating door in center field since Springer's left. He's been. Lunau loved him. Click loved him. Dana Brown loves him. And I've said it a billion times on this podcast that labrum surgeries are a bitch, and it takes years and years to even maybe get back to where you were. And to see that is just a testament of Jake Myers just being an absolute grinder. Shift over to left, the big guy, and it's crazy. One of the best bats in Major League Baseball. Could just DH his entire career if he wants to.
Yeah.
But is athletic enough to play every other day, every 3 days in left field.
And he rarely
Huge.
makes a bad play.
No, is there plays where a duck fart falls in, ball gets in the gap, it's a single into a double, little things like that because he's not Joey Luperfido and he's not Chas McCormick. Yeah, that happens. But to be able to pencil in the big guy into left field and not have just lack of a better word, an anchor at DH. Granted, he's one of the best hitters in baseball, but it gives you roster flexibility.
I mean, there's
to give guys days off
Yeah.
at the DH spot instead of strictly on the bench.
There's a world where he's as bad as like a Kyle Schwarber or like a David Ortiz used to be. Like, there's a world where you just have to have him
you would hide him at first base.
Yeah.
David Ortiz. Like, you don't have to hide your.
Like, you don't have to hide it. Like, when he's out there, it's not a detriment. Sure, it's not as much of a positive. Yeah, it's not a detriment to the game, and then you get another bat in at DH.
And then we'll just lump the rest of the contingency in the outfield of Chas McCormick, Joey Luperfido, and Trey Cabbage. Obviously, super utility. Mauricio Dubon is kind of everywhere. Chas has not had a great year.
I want to talk
that's
about
not
Chas
breaking news.
A little bit. Do we see that turning around anytime soon? What do you think is wrong there?
Yeah,
think it's just timing still. Or?
I think it's when Chas McCormick's on, he's driving the ball the other way at a rate, and I think a lot of teams are busting him in now.
He's been able to. He's getting a lot more pull singles, which is great. Like, he's got a few with runners in scoring position. He gets a big pull single through the six hole, whatever it's called. He's pulled it over there, but you're right. Like, you're not seeing him. There's many pitches I've seen over the past few weeks where I'm like, man, that fastball on the outer half, like, that's a pitch that Chas would have driven out last year. This year, he's either fouling it off or he's just straight up missing it.
Yeah, and I think the other side too in baseball, when the book is out on you, where if you threw it outer third, it was getting barreled. Yeah. So obviously the league makes an adjustment and they're busting you in, and you're getting nothing but sinkers in on the hands, 4 seams up, 2 seams on the hands. That outer third of the plate that you used to love now feels a ocean away, because all you've been seeing is in, and then when they do go outside, you're a little tardy to the party, and you're not getting there like that we've seen. So I think it's going to be. I think this break is great for Chas McCormick. We can make the adjustments, because when you're getting steady fastballs in and sinkers on the hands, it's also going to affect your launch angle of your swing. Like, if you have that launch angle that you were carrying that outer third and hitting and splitting that gap, that is, you're kind of getting jammed. So you're kind of probably coming in flat and you're seeing those pull singles. Yeah. Now we're going to make an adjustment during this break, and we're going to start
get back to that.
Look, if you want to bust me in the rest of the 75 games, so be it. We're getting the barrel to the ball or make you go back to it. Yeah.
He could before.
So, looking at a spray chart, I mean, it's just night and day difference from 2024 and 2023. I think we'll see Chas kind of figure out that rhythm and groove. Also, but competition breeds success, and you have Trey Cabbage and Joey Luperfido who are playing at a kind of sneaky good, above replacement level when you look at all their stats. Yeah. Obviously, it's a small sample size, but I think it was just it was criminal what the Astros have done that 1 month when Joey was down, up for 2 days, and then sent back down. Yeah. Absolutely criminal. Because this guy is able to turn singles into doubles. He's flying all over the field and in the outfield. There's times where he's not even on the screen on a ball. And he's like, it's almost like the Dave Sims, like, where'd Pena come from? It's like, where did Joey come from?
And that play hand-eye coordination on that bobble.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He's sitting, obviously he's not registered yet for Savant numbers. He's only had 98 official at-bats. Joey has a 750 OPS, 273 average, slugging 420, 24 knocks. But his XBA is at 266. His launch angle sweet spots percentage is at a 47.4, which would put him in the top 98 percentile if he was registered.
That's nice.
Obviously, his barrel percentage is a little down, hard hit percentage is a little down, but a lot of things that are there as he gets more reps is going to be great. And then Trey Cabbage, I'm a fan. I've been on this podcast crushing on this guy. He looks like a ball player. He's built like a ball player, and he hits the shit out of the baseball.
Yeah.
Absolutely hits the shit out of it.
Yeah, I mean, he had like it was like a 114 mile an hour single the other day or something like that. I was just absolutely barreled it up.
He has obviously small sample size, only 69 plate appearances, slugging 388, OPS 649, only one tank. But this is where I'm crushing. His average exit velocity is 92 miles per hour, which would put him around the 90th percentile. His barrel percentage when he does play is at 17.4, which puts him in the 98th percentile.
So the numbers prove that he hits the shit out of the ball.
Yeah. His hard hit percentage, 50%. And his bat speed is at 75.6, which puts him around like the 90 percentile. Yeah, that plays.
That plays. Let me ask you one question before we give a grade for the outfield. So moving forward, Kyle Tucker's back in right field. I think we're penciling in Jake Myers in center field. So what percentage would you like to see in left field out of those, what is that, 4 guys? Not counting Dubon because utility.
The math, yeah. I'd go 40% Jordan.
Okay. So you want him to start more in left field. What was he at, 25% before?
I think he was around 44%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I would lower it a little bit.
Okay.
Keep those legs fresh. Let's just go, Matt. Let's go 30%. So I have 70% to play with. 30% Joey. 30% Chaz. 10% Trey.
Okay. I feel like, I like that. I feel like Trey could
spell left or right.
Left or right whenever Tucker might DH or whatever. Okay. I like that.
Grade.
So what?
Midterm grade.
So what grade are we giving the outfield in the first half? I'm going to give them an A-.
I'm going to give the outfield an A.
Okay.
I think they've done a lot with less.
Sure, yeah.
Especially when you lose an MVP type player in Kyle Tucker for 30-something odd games.
Yeah.
To be able to just hold serve and maintain a fluid offense, been huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
All right.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what your outfield grade is. We'll shift to the infield, where it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. You started off with the Jose Abreu experiment at first. That's now led to John Singleton getting a ton of run, leading into Dubon getting some run. You have a first ballot Hall of Famer at second base. You have a former World Series MVP at shortstop, and you have one of the most decorated Houston Astro of all time at third base. And the best way I could describe the infield is kind of what the season has been over the last 90-something games. Started off clunky, started off slow, started off with not the expectations we thought coming out of training camp, spring training. And yet here we are at the All-Star break, and I feel very comfortable with the forecast.
I think so, yeah. I think
for the next 75.
Yeah, I think this will be the easiest percentage to calculate. It's John is your first baseman. I'm fully on board with John Singleton being the first baseman. His OPS on the season,
for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't think he's either way starting all the games the rest of the season. I just don't think he's a little older. I don't think he's going to do that. I think it's probably 85%.
Okay.
and Dubon goes over there. Dubon gets his starts. He's a utility guy.
His role is to fill the gaps.
He'll play first probably more than any other position unless somebody else gets hurt. So he'll play that first base 15%. He'll play the outfield here and there. He'll give Altuve a day off here and there. But John is your guy. Because looking at the numbers, would you say Jeremy Pena's in trouble of losing his starting spot?
No,
absolutely not. John's OPS is only 7 points lower. It's a 693 OPS. So looking at it, that's your guy. That's your best option. He's at least playing at a replacement level. His defense has gotten better and better. He's made some plays where I'm like, he's made some scoops and some plays. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus, good job.
Even athletically down the line across his glove side.
Yeah.
Balls down the line for as a right-handed thrower lefty with my glove, playing first base. Anything down the line was easy for me. Mm-hmm. When you're a lefty, you got to go across your body to protect the line, especially no doubles. He's made some plays that have been pretty damn athletic.
Yeah.
Pretty damn athletic. That his predecessor does not make.
Outside of, definitely not. Yeah. Outside of a potential trade at the deadline, how the roster is constructed right now, John Singleton is your first base guy.
I think it was Breathing Orange Fire on Twitter that he posted the zips for the second half for Singleton and Josh Bell, who's been floated with the Astros, and they're identical.
Yeah.
So why make a Josh Bell trade and give up prospects?
I agree
for production you already have.
Yeah,
in the aggregate.
I think John has made the idea of going to just get like a middle ground first baseman
out of the window.
There's no reason to do that. The only first baseman you go get
is an Alonso or Vlad.
Yeah, is somebody that's
and even then,
better.
I'm like, would I rather use those assets to go get arms?
Absolutely,
1,000%.
One before we'll talk about this on the trade deadline thing. We got to get through this, but one guy kind of percolating in my head a little bit. Future Hall of Famer, Joey Votto.
He's just over in Toronto with this.
He got injured at spring training. He had one at bat, hit a bomb, and then got injured in the dugout. And he's been rehabbing.
Is that how he got injured?
He stepped on a bat and like fucked up his ankle or something like that. Oh my God. Yeah, somebody left a bat on the ground and he. So he's been rehabbing. I don't know his numbers. Whatever his numbers are. When you're rehabbing, like I don't care what your numbers are.
Yeah.
I just think he might be a cheap. Like if we need a depth guy at first base, somebody that's like, imagine a Joey Votto on the bench.
I kind of.
I'm just saying, but for first base, I think it's John Singleton for now. I think your infield is set. I mean, you know who your infield is. They're your rock. I think.
Yeah, and as we shift over, you have just the face of the franchise, face of Houston for generations to come at Jose Altuve, having he's at 2.8 WAR, slugging 461, 14 tanks, 15 stolen. But he may quietly be a 30-30 guy this year.
He definitely 20. He's leading the team in steals.
Obviously, the K percentage strikeout is the highest it's been, I think, in his career at 19.3%. But Jose Altuve is going to figure out a way to succeed at whatever he wants to do. It almost feels like he sets a goal. Like he goes like, this month I'm going to have 10 stolen bases, and he'll go out and get stolen bases.
Yeah.
Or this month I'm going to have 75 hits, and I don't care about my power. And then the next month he's like, I totally obsessed with my power.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's like he has like 8-ball. Whatever the 8-ball says, he's like, that's what I'll do this month.
He can like change his own attribute sliders whenever he wants. He's like, oh, I turn my contact up this month. Oh, I'm gonna swing for more power.
And
wild.
The Deadpool this year is just outrageous. His spray chart's just, I mean, look at second base and just go like this. Everything's that way. Besides 1, 3, 4, 5 balls.
He's hit 5 balls.
He's hit 5, and 4 of those are questionable on my chart of like, it may just be 2.
Yeah.
It honestly may just be 2 balls he's actually hit.
Which is kind of wild. But
if
it works, it works.
But he's at 118 hits. This is the crazy thing. Jose Altuve in 2023 obviously broke his hand, broke his thumb, missed a ton of games. he had 360 at bats. This is how special of a season he had last year in a just small sample size. 360 at bats, 76 runs, 112 hits, 17 home runs, 14 solo bases, hit 311, slugged 522 with a 915 OPS. In 2024, with 386 at bats, he has 56 runs, 118 hits, 14 home runs, 15 solo bases, only slugging 461 and OPS 815. What he did last year in 2023 in that small sample size, he may have won an MVP if he played over 162.
No, he might have. He was.
That's just crazy. Incredible. There's nothing else to say about Jose Altuve at second base. He's playing good defense too. Obviously, that's been
he
a negative
like 2 months without an error.
Yeah, and it was an error that was backlogged. Retro backlog error. So, just absolutely amazing. Let's slide over to the third base because I think we could talk a little bit longer at shortstop. Alex Bregman did Alex Bregman things. We've seen it since he's come up. Starts off slow.
Yeah.
When the weather warms up, he gets hot, and he sustains it all the way through November. It's crazy. At one point he had a 500 OPS, and we were like 2 months in the season. He turns it on. The Astros start winning. A 730 OPS. He'll be in the 800s by the end of the month.
For sure.
Slugging 414, 94 hits, 12 home runs, swiped 2 bags. His chase percentage is a 73 percentile, squared up percentage 91 percentile, whip percentage 98, K percentage 93. So he's not missing when he's swinging. He's squaring up everything. His range at defense is he may finally win his first Gold Glove that he's been eluding him because of just Chapman being.
He's been crazy this year.
I don't want to get on a soapbox here, so I'll keep it short. People do not realize what Alex Bregman does for this team, and defensively, what he makes so nonchalant or makes so beginner type. It feels so basic baseball. He makes those plays. He makes very, very, very hard plays look very, very easy. And if he moves on, and the Astros do not re-sign him, you will see next year how much Alex Bregman has meant defensively. Obviously, offensively, his resume speaks for itself. Yeah. But defensively, just the little things he does.
Little dribblers. You'll see a lot more. Like, you'll see a ball hit down the line, and you're like, Bregman's got it. And they're like, wow, that snuck past, that's a double. Like, yeah, it'll be you don't know what you got till it's gone type of situation.
I'm gonna start calling Breggy the Builder. He just builds.
that's a good Breggy the Builder.
Breggy the Builder. He just builds and builds.
Starts slow, but he
hey, we know it's 162. Hey, and we know it's gonna be 182 because we're gonna play an additional 20 something games.
By the end of the season, his OPS will be above 800 and have a good year.
Shortstop. Shortstop has. Start off hot, lulled, and then now finding consistent. And it's not fair to put this on Jeremy Pena. When your first year, you have the best month of your life and win a World Series MVP and ALCS MVP, you would want that for your entire career every single month. But when you zoom out and you're like, hey, look, this third-year kid at shortstop, he's playing at his entire career high levels. In 2022, he had a 715 OPS. In 2023, he had a 705 OPS. Right now, he's sitting at a 700 OPS. Yeah. He is playing.
He's very consistently
he's just Jeremy
average Pena. Shortstop, and that's fine. We don't need. I mean, as awesome as it would be, we don't need every Astros player to be a perennial MVP candidate. He is exactly what you need from a solid cornerstone shortstop.
And I think you would say, hey, your shortstop, your third-year shortstop is batting 275 and OPS over 700. You'd be like, yeah, we'll take that 100%.
There's so many worse.
There's so many worse.
There's so many worse. I was looking at it. I mean, right now he's 6th in the AL for shortstops and OPS. Just fine.
You take that. Just fine.
Take that.
That's all you knew. He's going to play really, really great above average defense. Obviously, his predecessor is one of the best with the glove in Carlos Correa.
And there's a reason why he made $300 million or whatever.
And Jeremy Pena's played a great shortstop.
Yeah.
His fielding run value on Savant's a 2, which is huge. His range, his OAA is at a 2. One of the big things is looking at this page, his K percentage is in the 82nd percentile, which is great.
Yeah.
It's a huge.
That's something he's
worked on.
He's able to. His OPS might be staying around, but I think offensively he has more value now because he's not swinging at those sliders, striking out as much as he used to.
One of the biggest things from last year to this year, his ground ball percentage last year was 54.4%. This year he's at 47.9. I mean, it was the biggest thing. Last year was like you knew you were throwing Jeremy Pena sliders, and you knew he was either gonna strike out or bury one in the ground.
Yeah.
He's made an adjustment to his weaknesses, and that's all you can really ask for. I think one of the last outstanding things on his Savant page is batting average, expected batting average is 278. So I think he'll start churning up. I think there's
improvement to be made.
Fly. So, and then let's just end with Mauricio Dubon, super utility guy. He does all. I mean, there's a lot of fans that clamor for him to be a starting position somewhere. I think Dubon's greatest asset is he could play any position at a high level and give a lot of guys days off, whether that's third, whether that's short, whether that's second, whether that's first, anywhere in the outfield. I think that's what you take. And there's always a glue guy. I mean, there's always been a super utility for the Astros in this golden age, whether that was Diaz, whether it was Marwin. You can even go back on other teams. I mean, one that always stands out to me is like the Ben Zobrist of the world. You always have a job in Major League Baseball if you can show a team that you could play a lot of positions and present a lot of value.
Well, you're a parachute for the manager. Yeah.
And so I think that is when Mauricio is at his best, as when he is jumping around at other spots. Obviously, the OPS has fallen a little bit back down to earth at a 689. Obviously, we want to see that in the 700s, but you just keep it going with him. And then I just completely forgot catcher, but Diaz has turned it on.
Yeah, he's
kind of one that fits in that mold of start off slow. The Astros started slow, and as the Astros have heated up, he's heating up. Like, it's been strong offensively.
Yeah, no. Talking about how we were talking about Pena, it's a premium position. If you can be solid defensively and also above average offensively, that's what you want. Diaz in the AL is 5th in OPS for catchers. I'll take that. I'll take a top 5 catcher and a top 6 shortstop any day. And while then you have a bunch of MVP guys on the rest of your roster, like that's solid.
And I think he falls in this bucket of Astros of Altuve, Bregman, Jordan, and Diaz, where in the second half you're going to see these guys get on fire and stay on fire because baseball always evens out. And I think a lot of those guys in that bucket start off slow, considerable to who they are as a baseball player.
Yeah.
And men lie, women lie, numbers don't. All the expected numbers are going to go up. So you're going to see over the next, especially in August when the schedule gets a little tight, you're going to need the offense to bang a little bit. And these are the guys that are going to carry you, as they've been carrying over the last 6 weeks. And then the backup spot, you've had Carantini, who was
clutch. Yeah.
Absolutely clutch.
Should be getting him back at the next series, I think. He's doing a rehab.
I think he's doing a rehab.
Yeah.
He was early on kind of, him and Ronaldo were like the only guys doing something positive.
Yeah.
It felt like. Obviously small sample size. He's only got 105 at bats, but OPS 716, slugging 429, 4 tanks. I think feels like all 4 were clutch. His Savant page is red if it qualified, but Getting him back, I think, will be big for the staff too. And then Cesar Salazar. I think he's came in and just been another one of those guys that doesn't get written up by, Baseball Prospectus, doesn't get written up by MLB.com, doesn't get written up by Keith Law, doesn't get written up by anyone.
Yeah. And
then it comes in and just is a plug and play.
It just hit clutch singles, clutch doubles.
it obviously,
OPS.
Yeah. A small sample size, batting 318, 409 slug. His Avant page is all red if he qualified for it.
And the big thing, which you can talk on, is his defense behind the plate. It might be the best on the team.
There's been a few, and I think few plays that have been highlighted too much. It kind of got sideways on a few back picks. Other than that, he's called a great game. His framing is amazing. As long as there's a human element involved, give me a catcher that can frame the shit out of the baseball. The third thing, I think, and as you're watching this, we're about to have him on the podcast, so you go check out our other YouTube video with Cesar Salazar. The game planning, and obviously we'll talk about it when he's here. I think the guy is just one of the best game planners, and I want to expand on that with him a lot. Just how he approaches it, how he, other than Verlander, he's caught all these guys. He drafted in 2018.
Yeah,
he's been with these guys. There's a sense of
he's been in AAA
comfort.
for a minute. Yeah,
and when you get in the show, he's not a wide-eyed, bushy-tailed rookie.
No, he's 28.
Seasoned.
He's been around.
He's seasoned. So when Caratini got that hip flexor, he's been able to step right up and when he plays, provide a spark. 2, I want to see if he's helping with the game plans with Diaz and the staff. But 3, I think we saw one of the starts with Spencer. They were both like, when you see the pitcher catcher just kind of vibing and talking to each other throughout a start, you're just like, all right, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And that's what I truly like. So,
I mean, he's only played 9 games and he has
small sample.
0.2 WAR. Like
you take that. You take that.
Extrapolate that over a full season, like Jesus.
You take that. Great.
So infield, I think is the easiest one to grade. Obviously, how much do you weigh in?
You have to
on the first base.
You have to
debacle.
You have to calculate it.
I'm also probably gonna give it. I'm gonna give the infield because of first base. Outside of first base is an A+. Because of that, it's gonna take it down to a B+.
Wow.
I think so. I
think
you have
still
to.
Very high for me.
Really? I mean, Altuve, Jeremy, like everybody's kind of the way they've listed the team over the past month has really raised that for me.
I think due to where they are at the All-Star break, I'm at a B-.
Okay.
You asked me a week ago, I was probably at a C+ with this grade.
For sure. A couple weeks ago, I was definitely at a C or something.
Because you just, obviously over 162, you're going to zoom out. But when you look at the 90 games, you had such an anchor at first base and no production, minus production on everything.
Negative value.
Negative, just rock bottom negative. This is the biggest anchor of all anchors. It was an F. And then how everyone else started, slow, an F. And then you've seen it kind of just build, and I'm at a B- because a lot of these guys have carried this offense and defensively over the last 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think I would also. I mean, even now we're saying a B basically.
Yeah,
and I think that's fair.
Maybe, and B's are fine.
B's help. You can pass with B.
C's get degrees. Well, I'm proof. C's get degrees, baby.
Well,
we'll end this.
Yeah,
we'll do our own. We'll do a pitching report card, bullpen and starters.
Yeah, this was the offensive.
This is offensive report card. Shout out to our sponsors, Coby Stevens. I'm rocking the shirt right now. The birdie shirt.
Coby Stevens. That looked nice. I was thinking about it. I was like, that's a good little.
Yeah, I look. I'm eating salads and
I'm rocking a little Apollo HOU.
I think this is the birdie shirt. I got the Azalea shirt. I'll probably wear that on Friday. They have a new fishing outdoor collection, a new Seaside Club collection for the golfer, fisherman, outdoorsman. They have a little Houston gear dropping next week. They wanted to tease this a little bit. So visit CobyStevens.com or stop by their showroom on this address is 14614 Fallen Creek Drive, Houston, Texas, 77068, I believe, right off 1960. And then Big City Wings, Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. They've done so much over the last week and a half for the city of Houston, getting wings over to Gallery Furniture, to Mattress Mac to feed everyone that was going there during the hurricane and then post debacle of no power. They're back online, all their stores. So to go out there, show some love, eat local, shop local, and also Jesse's Burgers up on the north side. They've been killing it. We need to get up there. I need to get a strawberry shake. Jesse's Burgers, Smash Burger concept. They've been providing a ton of food up in the New Caney area to everyone that was been out of power.
Shout out them and Big City have been
everyone's been stepping up. Jesse's been stepping up. Sam's been stepping up. So shout out to is a true testament of what makes Houston so special. God damn fly.
God, that one fucking fly.
One fly. I feel like I'm the episode of Breaking Bad. But yeah, any last words?
No, I think those are fair grades for the offense. Next, we'll get into the pitching, and those are going to be interesting to talk about. But yeah, thank you for watching and listening to Beyond the Diamond podcast. We will see you next time.
Peace.
Go Astros.
Love you guys. Also, beep boop boop, small beep boop boop. 25% off all orders. Coby Stevens using code ApolloHOU. Just now. Just got the email.
Oh,
25%
nice.
off all first time orders.
At the buzzer.
Baskets.